What's going on, everybody? Another episode of 4x4 Camping and Adventures, and in today's episode I'm going to show you how to replace a CV in a Mitsubishi Triton, so let's get into it. Alright, so I'm going to take you through the whole list of all the things that you're going to need. I've got the list here. These guys from newtriton.net made up a PDF on how to actually replace a CV, which I'm going to follow step by step and give you guys a step-by-step video at the same time. So shout out to the awesome guys at newtriton.net for putting all this stuff together, which is awesome. So, stuff you're going to need to make this job work. If you haven't got anything on this list, then you don't start it. This is all needed for when you're doing this job. The main ones, so bolts, parts, tin, bucket, somewhere to put your spare parts, all that kind of stuff. A 12mm, 14mm, 17mm, 19mm spanner, and the same with sockets. Essentially either a 1/2 inch or a 3/8 socket set. I'd normally go 1/2 inch, a little bit stronger. 32mm socket to take the hub nut off, 1/2 inch breaker bar and a wheel brace. Socket drive extensions to make up the 400mm length that you're going to need. So you're going to need some socket drive extensions, 1/2 inch if you are using 1/2 inch. Pry bar set, needle cutters and needle nose pliers, WD-40 to get rid of those loosen up those stubborn bolts. A hammer, a small lump of wood, a cold chisel or a flat screwdriver. That's if you have bought a CV without an ABS ring on it. You have to remove it from the original CV. Large bearing puller, that's obviously for the removing of the ring as well. A flat pin punch, if you haven't got a bearing puller, you can use the same. Obviously vehicle jacks, axle stands, and Loctite thread locker. I think it was 242 I bought, and a rattle gun just to make it a little bit easier. And if you need to, a brake cleaner spray if you need to clean the brakes after you've played around with all the stuff. So, as I said, I'm going to take you through step by step on how to do this. Alright, so first step, can't stress this enough, once you get the wheel off and all that kind of thing, get your axle stands underneath the chassis, so obviously you're not going to have the car fall down on you. If you want to have a little bit of peace of mind, you can put the wheel under there as well, but I've got 4 axle stands under there at the moment, so I'm happy with that. But I can't stress that enough. Don't do anything under a vehicle unless you've got some axle stands, because safety, these things fall on you, you're dead, that's it, it's all over. So make sure you get some axle stands to brace the chassis, and then you can start this job. So next step after that, we're going to remove the hub cover. So I'm just going to quickly remove that with a screwdriver. Then we can get into removing the actual hub nut and get onto removing the whole CV. So let's get into it. Alright, so now we've done this step, now we need to get the 32mm socket on this guy here to loosen him up a bit. So you're going to need a fairly decent size breaker bar to get this guy off, because this has been on for 100,000 Ks and never been removed, so it's going to be on there pretty firmly, but yeah, should be nice and easy to remove. To get your trusty 12mm, what you want to do is remove this bolt. So we'll just get him off. One won't be too bad because it's been removed before, so there's not shouldn't be too tight, but they can be a little bit tricky. There we go. You can use a socket for this if you want to as well, but for the purposes of the video, I'm just going to use the spanners and that kind of thing, because socket gun makes a little bit too much noise. Once you've undone this, you can move it aside, get it out of the way. So next step is removing these 2 nuts here. There's two 12mm nuts just here, and then on the other side just here as well. So that's your next step to remove those. So next step is cracking these three 12mm bolts. You can already see I've sprayed it with WD-40. I've got this stuff here which penetrates nuts and bolts, all that kind of thing, which works really well. So I've sprayed it on there. I've also, if you can sort of see, it's a bit hard to see, but in there I've already sprayed the actual nuts that hold it onto the body itself. So so that can sort of seep in there while I'm sort of getting these bits done. You can see the ABS wire and the brake wire all ready to rock and roll. They're all loose. But what you want to do is take a little bit of pressure, especially with my car, it's been lifted pretty heavily. What we're going to do is lift the UCA up. That's going to take a little bit of pressure off this ball joint, and that's also going to take a lot of pressure off these nuts and bolts. So we don't stuff the threads up, because we don't want to stuff any of these screws up, because 9 times out of 10 with Mitsubishis, these are all very, very unique to this car, and they're very, very hard to find in a nuts and bolts place. So make sure you do everything properly and don't stuff anything up. So as you can see now, all the pressure's been taken off the UCA. There's still a little bit of pressure on there, but it should be pretty good to crack. As I said, this is all just sort of you know, trial and error. So if it feels a little bit tight, then take a little bit more pressure off your UCA, and you'll have no dramas. But I'll just see if I can crack these 12mm nuts, and yeah, we'll see what happens. So this is where you should be up to. We've removed the three 12mm bolts from this guy here, and then you've got to drop the jack underneath to let this sort of freely move away from the actual UCA. But next step now is pretty easy. So what we're going to do is get a little bit of wood or something that we can tap this with, because you want to push that back about 10 to 5mm, and what that allows to do is essentially pop the CV out, and we can start removing it. So you're halfway there. This is the sort of the halfway point, but we're getting somewhere, and it's yeah, starting to look like it's going to all be nice and easy to remove. So everything's been pretty easy so far. These were quite easy. I used a socket instead of the spanner. That made life a bit easier, but yeah, as I said, once you take that tension off, just keep an eye on it, and then check obviously all your bolts and that kind of stuff after you remove it to make sure they're all good. Mine are all sweet, and make sure you put some Loctite on these bolts before you put them back on, because this is one of your main suspension components, and you want to make sure that that's all nice and tight. So next step, let's pop this CV, and we'll be ready to rock and roll to remove it. So here we are. This is the next step. We have the CV removed from the car. So you can see mine's a bit hairy going. Had a bit of a rough life, this one, 100,000 Ks, but it's done pretty well. But that's pretty much showing you how to remove the whole CV. And yeah, you can see obviously this one, the boots come off here. That's obviously a lot of little, you know, let a lot of water and all that kind of stuff get in there, and then that's just worn down stuff inside here. So this one that was ticking along, so and yeah, eventually gave up the ghost. So that is what it is. But it's not actually broken, which is good. So it shows the strength of these things. They've actually still got a fair bit of strength in there. So the only problem is this boot's a bit busted. I was contemplating just replacing the boot, but then with water and all that kind of stuff getting in there, I've gone through some mud holes and all that kind of stuff with this like this. So I would say the internals are pretty cactus, but that is him. So what we'll do is reassemble the whole assembly, and yeah, at the end of the video I might just take this bracket off and to see inside how bad this looks, but stay at the end of the video for that. But yeah, the next step of the video is essentially doing the video backwards, putting it all back together, bolting it all to go, and yeah, that's about it. So I'll put it all back in, and then I'll show you guys how this guy looks inside, so we'll get into that. Alright, so everyone to know what's inside a CV shaft. This is what they look like inside. This isn't actually in too bad nick. It's obviously stuffed, but mainly because the boot has got in there and there's been a fair bit of water and stuff getting in there. But all of it's still pretty connected, so if this boot hadn't have flogged out, I probably would have got a fair few more Ks out of this guy. So the increased angles on the CVs definitely wouldn't have helped, but beyond that, it's actually in pretty good nick, really, with the grand scheme of things. But yeah, that's essentially how CV works. It's a bunch of bearings, bunch of gears and that kind of stuff driving your wheels. So this part here actually connects up to the diff, and then obviously you got this side here which connects up to the wheel, and then you got your two boots which hold it all together. Then this side here seems actually pretty good. There's nothing really wrong with that, but potentially you might be able to get this rebuilt. I might look into it just so I've got a spare floating around, but if I can get this rebuilt, I might get it rebuilt up and then just have a sparey, because that's not too bad inside. I thought it was going to be a lot worse than that. Just depends on how much water's got in there, but if not much water's got in there, we might be alright. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, but I'll take it to the guys and see what they think. But essentially that's what a CV looks like inside. So as I said, thank you for watching to the end of this video so you could see the CV. So I just wanted to say thank you for watching, and as always, please like, subscribe and comment. But that video shows you how to put a CV back into a Mitsubishi Triton. If you have any questions or anything like that, just give me a yell. But as I said, the main steps are pretty easy if you just follow the steps that are on the video, and just make sure you jack everything up, make sure you're nice and safe, all that kind of stuff. You'll have no dramas, but you should be able to follow it step by step and get it all sorted. As I said, I'm not massively mechanically minded, but even I can do it and get it done. If I wasn't filming this video, I could probably say I could get that done in about an hour's time, but it's taken me a couple of hours to do the video and that kind of stuff. Allocate half a day and you'll be fine. But as always, that's another episode of 4x4 Camping and Adventures. Thank you for watching, and if I don't see you in the next video, I might see you out in the tracks and trails. If I don't see you out in the tracks and trails, I'll see you later. Bye.